And here we go. We're going to do the Build for 2030 Hackathon with Women in Cloud. I am so excited for this particular part of the afternoon. It's going to be so amazing. All right. So to bring us into the hackathon, I'm going to introduce Gina Go because she is amazing. She's the Channel Inclusive and Impact Senior Strategy Lead for Microsoft Global Partner Solutions Business. She focuses on developing strategies that can enable partners to innovate and build solutions toward a more inclusive economy. And she's got experience in both public and private sectors. Like she's just across all markets with expertise in ecosystem development strategy and action. She's going to introduce everybody else, Chai, and whoever else is on her team to help us. Hi, Gina. Love you.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today at WIC UNGA. I'm super excited to be sharing with you about the Build for 2030 initiative. I'm bringing up my screen at the moment, and I'm really excited to be sharing with you about the initiative and specifically the Build for 2030 hackathon that's ongoing, and be a part of this Ask Me Anything session. So I'm going to start today first with this picture. If anyone recognizes it, feel free to put some questions and thoughts in the chat about what this might be. This is a picture, an example of a living root bridge. It's a complex network of roots that are trained to form bridges made from living trees, and it's commonly found in the northeast of India. The native people would plant these strangler fig trees on one side of the stream bank and then train it over time to the other side and for the roots to grow across the water. And this happens over the course of 2 lifetimes. And over that time, a super strong, resilient structure forms, one that can withstand the very heavy monsoons in that area, and then could also last for 500 years. I wanted to share this first because, learning about these living root bridges had transformed my perspective on the work that we're doing here. And I find it inspiring in countless of ways and wanted to share that. I also find that in doing work to bring social impact and business impact together, it's very much like building bridges. And the people who built these bridges hundreds of years ago did so knowing that they will only see the true value for the future generations to come. They were true innovators of their time. And, that's the kind of impact that I think all of us here in the room want to create. And while I think all of us want that, creating a better world for future generations, the good news is that the data is showing that, doing good is also doing good business, right? Business and solution strategies that are focused on impact, inclusion, sustainability is unlocking new value and growth for us all. And I know that different regions, different cultures may experience this differently, but I think over the course of the past 18 months, many of us would agree that with the pandemic's impact, we felt the acceleration of the awareness of the need to solve for the challenges of today, and that more governments, businesses, and business leaders are feeling the pressures too to address those challenges. Some data here, right? The data has shown that companies grow 3 times faster when they focus on purpose compared to their competitors, and they do so while achieving higher customer satisfaction and also workforce retention and 30% higher levels of innovation. There is a growing awareness of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and many global companies around the world are now investing in DEI through their hiring, procurement, and their supply chain strategies. And over 4,000 investment institutions are now signed up behind the United Nations Principles for Responsible Investment, and there are 89 trillion in assets under management. And those are driving boardroom decisions today on company, industry, and product strategies. So I'm super excited here today to be sharing about an opportunity for us to do good and do good business, and for us all to capture the differentiation that offers. And that's really why we started the Microsoft #Built for 2030 initiative. And what it is, Microsoft has been a supporter of the UN Sustainable Development Goals since 2015. And we wanted to take the opportunity to work together with the Microsoft partner ecosystem to be building and recognizing and driving more transformational solutions into market together. We started off with a campaign featuring solutions on our marketplace, featuring many solutions from the Women in Cloud Accelerator cohorts, driving change in the world today, recognizing women in cloud as well. And the 5 themes we've been focusing on are gender equality, sustainability, accessibility, enabling the nonprofit sector, and empowering communities through supporting the public sector, public-private partnerships, and institutions. And what's most exciting is the ongoing hackathon that I think everyone here in the room is joining us for today. That's live and launched. It's our inaugural Built for 2030 hackathon, an opportunity for Microsoft partners and for individuals of all roles, right? Technical and non-technical roles to come together to be building for impact. So we're here to talk about the hackathon, but why hack? Maybe this is your first hackathon. Maybe you've always thought that the hackathons are in the realm of developers and software engineers, and you're not one, you're a business leader. Let me share with you a story that we were very inspired by. The picture you see here is the Microsoft Xbox Adaptive Controller. It was one of the most recognized innovations and was Time's innovations for the year in 2018. And the Xbox Adaptive Controller actually started out of multiple Microsoft internal hackathon projects. And it was an employee who read about and was inspired to reach out to a nonprofit who was providing gaming devices to wounded veterans. And through that work, started a hack project at the annual internal Microsoft Hackathon. And other teams took that work, grew it, built on it, and it finally, got integrated into the product strategy and made it to market. And look at the impact that it's now created for users all around the world. And so we're inviting all Microsoft partners to be a part of the ongoing Built for 2030 hackathon. There are some amazing prizes to be won, 50,000 total in cash, and then also we have GTM and technical benefits for everyone to enjoy. We will be diving deeper into the requirements later, so I'm not going to steal Chaitra and Olivia's thunder here. We hope that participants will really make the most of this hack experience by being inspired by the 5 themes and the challenge statements that we've laid out for this hackathon. And beyond the solution building and the project that you'll be working on, we've really built this as a learning journey and a community building experience for everyone. So through this experience, you're going to be able to attend more events like this one on all areas of social impact that's connected to technology. So for instance, we have workshops on responsible AI, workshops on coding with accessibility, learning about inclusive design, learning about the Microsoft Sustainability Calculator that could truly supplement what you learn here today in this workshop with the UN SDGs. It's also a community building journey. If you're here today, maybe you're attending a Women in Cloud event for the first time, maybe you're a multi-year resident of Women in Cloud and supporter. There are also other community partners as part of this hackathon experience, like the International Association of Microsoft Channel Partners, Ashoka Changemaker companies. They focus on helping businesses transform with social impact, the Black Channel Partner Alliance, and the WIT Network that you can also get to know and support. As you're building your teams, what I wanted to share here before we get into the workshop is to really think through the makeup of your team, so that you're building a diverse team from the outset, which would really just strengthen the output of what you produce from this hackathon. So consider, how you're integrating diverse perspectives and diversity in all forms, right? Work styles, backgrounds, especially if you're looking to build a solution that serves a diverse or underrepresented group. It is really important to be thinking about how you're integrating that into your build process. And the other thing is that we've also integrated some best practices from other hackathons and challenges, so that people from both technical and non-technical backgrounds have an opportunity to participate. All of this is included in the hackathon community space that we'll walk you through in a second, so that you can access the participant guide. And then as you build your solution, today we're going to really dig into the UN SDG framework. It's an awesome place to start. And then as you do that, though, if you're new to the UN SDGs, also consider other angles to help you draw inspiration, right? So you can think about your industry. What are some of the known challenges your employees or your customers have already shared? Look at your product today and think about how you can expand access of that product, ensuring that people with disabilities could use it, for instance. And you can also just use this as a way to up-level your connection to philanthropy or CSR if your company is already working with some nonprofits, and do something very close and similar to what I shared earlier with the Xbox adaptive controller example. Reach out to a nonprofit and see how you can work together to make an impact. I'm going to leave everyone with this quote as we go into the thick of the workshop and the design thinking and the research. I have a favorite quote from Melinda Gates from her recent book that has been with me over the past couple of years. The quote is, we have to keep working on innovation in products, in science and technology, but we have to work with the same passion in innovation in delivery systems as well. Both are indispensable. And so while we're all here, many of us are in technology, we run and lead technology companies, focus equally on how the technology that you're building is reaching your end users or your intended community beneficiaries. The delivery systems are ripe for innovation, and so much more can be done if we think about that delivery process as well. So I hope you're inspired, excited, and ready to ask some bold questions and lead the way in building for impact for 2030. Thank you, everyone. And now I'd love to hand it over to Chaitra, my mentor, coach, leader on the UN SDGs, to start and kick us off with the research session. Thank you, Chaitra.
Perfect, Gina. Thank you so much for inspiring us to innovate with impact in mind. So really appreciate it. You can stay on the stage, or you can just do mic off, camera off. So I want all of you to start with is how many of you are ready to participate in Build for 2030 Hackathon? Just say +1 in the chat. I want to see this one is completely like we are part of it. There you go. We have Lucy, we have Raquel, Patty, Jan. Thank you. First is good. Now, the second question I have is, what is motivating you to build an impact solution? What is motivating for you? And I'll introduce myself. Give me a second. What is motivating you to really build an impact solution on this planet? Go ahead, take a time. I love it. I love all of you to really participate. We need your voice. We need your representation in solution building. Yep, Amanda perfectly said, is protecting the future generation, save the planet, help make a change through tech. Absolutely. That is how we should be motivated. And let me give you a story. I'm Chaitra Vedalapalli. I'm the co-founder and president of Women in Cloud. And as part of doing the Women in Cloud, we have built a whole mission around creating economic access for women tech founders in partnership with corporation to create $1 billion in access. And this one is supporting the UN goal number 5, which is gender inclusion and equity. Goal number 8, focused on innovation and technology. and infrastructure, and goal number 17 through global partnerships. So I've been working in the UN goals for probably for the last 20 years. It really motivates me. I was in a place where I didn't have a purpose, where I didn't know what I was doing, just going for work and coming back. And when I got introduced to UN goals, it really gave me a pathway to have a purpose for life. And it helps me to really serve the community in a proper way, because the goals are so big and huge. You get to come and contribute every day, because now your ego never takes over you. You actually are building the right solution. So what I'm going to talk you through today is really how to build an architect. So I need as 15 minutes with me and Olivia to give you the frameworks, and then we'll go into the Q&A. Sounds good? Okay, give me a thumbs up. Let me see if you can use the emojis. There you go. There you go. Excellent. So let's go through the first question on how to architect. I want all of you to be engaged with me. So when you're thinking about impact solution, what is the hardest part of architecting your impact solution to support the UN SDG goal? What is the hardest part of doing that? Go ahead, put it in the chat. So think about the things that is really hard if you have to architect. Integration, that is so true, Veronica. Integration is definitely one of the places people do. The structure, how do you go about it, which we'll talk about it, and you'll have a framework for rest of your life. You can actually use that to build amazing solution. Time, yes. Planning, that's so correct. Support, what are the support? Well, with all the things that you're saying, you have everything really baked together, and you can actually participate in a hackathon. And trust me, it is going to be like that experience where you're going to actually go and get a Guinness World of Records, right? Like that's the experience when you're participating in the Build for 2030 hackathon. So going to the reasons why people actually have challenges. The first one is really understanding the SDG goals and metric. That is really hard for a lot of people. They don't understand, where do I start? Where do I find? How do I go research? And which metric I should be influencing. So I'll talk you through it. So it allows you to lock on that metric, and then you can really start building your solution for it. The second piece is really the messaging and the implementation complexity. And each one of you talked about is the integration, the structure. How do you message it? If you message it, do we sound like a nonprofit? No, you don't. You're really building a social impact, and you're really building as an impact solution. And the third reason where people do struggle with is profitability forecasting can be challenging. Most of the companies struggle. Is like, if we go towards UN goals, are we losing our profitability? You're not losing anything. So this is where I would love each one of you to really hone on today. Make sure you understand your goals and your metric, how to do the messaging and your implementation, and also design for profitability so you can do more of impact. Because if you're profitable, you can drive more impact. Okay. Let me talk about 3 examples of companies who were featured part of the Build for 20. We had AG Tools from Martha. So she built a solution around food security and sustainability. And it's really actionable supply chain decision platform that's available in the agriculture space. Second, we had Donna, who built a drug development platform that expedites the delivery of safe and effective scientific innovation. So she's really bringing a platform that allows all the people to find the right drug at the right time. And we are in pandemic. We want those kind of technologies out there. And Stimulus basically focuses on the supply chain ecosystem, so they can help any company find the right search, the evaluation, the selection. Really, they're connecting the supply chain intelligence and access. All of them are entrepreneurs, but building very much an impact solution in the market. So that's what solutions would look like as you're building your idea. Okay, going to the next one. Let's say you built an impact solution through the Build for 2030. What would your business achieve by developing that impact focused solution? Go ahead, share that answer for me. I want to know, what will your business achieve by developing an impact focused solution? I'm waiting. Let's see who goes first. There you go. A better society. Absolutely. But what does your business achieve? The right product marketing fit. Exactly, Olivia. That is the right answer. Right. Basically, raising awareness for companies how to be more responsible. Yes, your companies will be known as the responsible companies saving the planet. And then you have the right product market fit because you will know your audience. And for them, their life matters and your solution really drives the change. Also recognizes the leaders in the industry. Yes, the recognition along with that. And the community needs to scale the product. And absolutely, and I would say, is the customer loyalty. Absolutely, I would say the loyalty is the one because you will find the right customers with that mindset who will work with you. And because you're driving for those impact in the world, so you have the right customers that you will be working with. Okay, now how do you go about achieving it? There are two principles you have to focus on as you build your impact solution. The first one is always, always, always focus on one SDG goal at a time. You will be tempted because there are 17 of them, and you'll say, I love this, I want to do this. Well, start with one, and it's a laser focus on one goal. And that's what the Build for 2030 Hackathon will help you. So you can pick the challenge and the prompt, and you can go laser focused on that particular goal. So it will allow you to accomplish that. The second piece is really you have to rethink the business opportunity. As I said, you will drive the loyalty, you'll drive the profitability, but there's a way you need to think about your business opportunity in this context. So going to that, let me talk you through what the framework looks like. It is really the SDG 2030 Impact Lens framework, which I've been using for the last probably 20 years. And it has been really helpful. What you're trying to do is solving the social and the business challenges through the impact lens. So it's very important. You're looking from the impact. And there are 4 areas that you focus on. The first one is understanding your business challenge. Is what's the challenge you're solving. Second, you're understanding what is the social challenge that you will solve if you connect that. Number 3, what is the innovation and leadership opportunity for your company, and where are you struggling right now, and you need to address that. And the last one is the community partnership. Do you have community partnership? If you look at the companies who have become like a unicorn companies or $1 billion companies, they have addressed all the 4 pillars, and they really rethink from an opportunity driving social and business at the same time. If you look at IBM, you look at Microsoft, you look at Google, if you look at really Going, you can actually address each one of them, and it's beautifully crafted to really come up with the right mission and vision and solution to accomplish that goals. So how do you go about that? So the first framework is understanding your UN. So yes, understanding the UN goals. So there are 17 of them, and in the 17, you have to pick one. So what you do is you go to the SDG site. So the site would look like, go to the next slide, Raisa. So what it does is the United Nations SDG 1. This is a place where you can find everything. That's where you start the research. And for every goal, there is details around it. So once you go in and let's say you want to pick on gender equity, and that's the women's empowerment, there's a lot of information available. So you can click on it. It will tell you what the goal is. It will keep in the back, Raisa. So keep it back, go back. So in that particular one, there is publications that have been developed by UN that you can read, and that has a lot of data and insight. So that gives you the high level data metric. Then it also is the events. What are all the events that are happening? So you can go listen, you can see who are the people who are actually influencing the gender equality and empowerment. And then you also have the metrics, and what are the metrics we should be influencing. So if you want, just go ahead, and Faranda, if you can put in the link for people, they can go to the site and then start clicking and start learning about that particular metric and the particular goal that we will be, working on, or you will be working on, if that is the alignment that you're going to drive. Once you go in there, there are some data feeds that will be provided. Like, for example, there is a metric around the gender gap. So they are really tracking how they are addressing the gender gap. So you also have the data of the actions people are taking and the companies are taking to really address and close the gap that we have today, right? So that way you have that information. So this is all the way you go about research, but start with the SDG goal site, which is the UN site. And from there, you keep going and get all the research data that you need. The other place you also can do is infographic access on Google, and it will tell you tell me anything about UN goal number 5 and infographic, and you'll get lots of infographic that companies are producing that also gives you a lot of the data and trends. Okay. So with that one, going to the next piece is the framework. So now that you know how to do the research, the first thing that you're going to do is identify the problem you're going to solve. That's the first box you will start with. The second box you will say is, what is the UN goal that you want to address? So first is identify the problem. Second is pick the UN goals that you're going to go. Then go and identify what's the business challenge, what is the community partnership, what is the social challenge, and the leadership innovation. Write it down, write down the bullet points on that. Then that will give you an identification of the core audience actually you're serving in the market. Then you write and identify your core audience. It needs to be the audience who will benefit the most from the work you do. Once you have that research done using the UN site and your business situation, then you identify a cool name for it. It can be your solution, but come up with a cool solution name and the impact metrics that you can influence. So let me show you an example of it, how we go about it. So this is for the Women in Cloud piece. So if you think about it, the first one we did was, what's the problem we were trying to solve? This one was recently after the COVID-19 report. What we found that 70% of the women entrepreneurs in the network stated that the number one request was warm introduction for the right people. So then we said, okay, what is the business challenge we are solving? Well, first is current warm introductions were done via an email, one-on-one, and it was very laborious. If you see our Excel spreadsheet, you will say, oh my God, that is so complex, because it was a double opt-in. You were just not connecting people randomly. You had to go get a permission from the people you get to connect with. Second is, the LinkedIn network was not working. People were not really reading the email. Even you said, I came from Women in Cloud, that particular connection was not happening. So that was the first business challenge we saw. The second thing we also saw was a social challenge. Women experience very less established business networks, as well as constraints that restrict women participation in the business. And there's a lot of inadequate support system for advisors and mentors. The law, the cultures, and the regions and the politics are built on the patriarchal foundation. So that was a social challenge we were able to identify. Number 3 is the leadership and the innovation challenges. Institutional mindsets were the most significant barrier in this space. Access to funding and executive sponsorship is not available easily for women, whether you're building a business or becoming a leader within the company. That is missing today, right? Or very little, I would say 1 to 2%. Women are often perceived as more emotional and less decisive than men, and that is a perception issue. And then when you look at the community partnership angle, that was the communities do not have bandwidth or tools to make warm introductions possible. The infrastructure did not exist. The frameworks did not exist. And community events expect people to find people to network. They're not really driving the connection. They are basically saying, we will host the events, your responsibility, go find it. But when you come as an attendee, the first thing you want is the community organizer to do is get you a warm introduction. And online communities are struggling to figure out how to provide value to the audience. Does that make sense? Like, that is the first, is to identify the problem, the core audience you're serving, and then identifying your goal, and then identifying your challenge. Tell me if you understood. Give me thumbs up. I got it. Go ahead. Did you get it? Okay, fantastic. Now, let me show you how this whole solution comes. So if once you have that, you need to really have is a design thinking mindset, and there's a framework attached to it. I would like to have Olivia come and talk about it because she can breathe and she can think, she can explain everything about design thinking. So Olivia, go ahead and explain, and then I'll come back and finish the whole thing.
Absolutely. So I'm so excited to be here today to talk about two of the things I'm really passionate about, which is design thinking and the sustainable development goals. And I think the two really work well together. So design thinking, as you've heard these kind of words about finding your ideal customer and product market fit and user focused solutions. And that's what design thinking is all about. It's about building solutions with your end user and deep understanding of your end user and their needs and their challenges in order to create solutions that people actually need and solve their challenges. So it's a 5-step process, but it's very iterative. So throughout these 5 steps, and we'll talk a little more about this, but you can come back and forth. It's not linear. So the first step, as I mentioned, was empathizing with your end user. So it's getting in there and interviewing them, talking to them, finding their comments and feedback and reviews on similar solutions, and really getting an understanding of their challenges and their individual needs, and finding the audience group that you're going to find a solution for. And then you want to clearly define the problem that you're trying to solve. So as Chai said, you have to pick one goal and kind of you really want to get that laser focus and really clearly define the challenge that you're going to solve. So both your team understands and is all on the same page, but also as you're working throughout these phases with your end user, they understand the problem that you're trying to solve from them or for them from the feedback you gathered in the empathize phase. Then you're going to brainstorm potential solutions and figure out the most viable to move into the prototyping phase. Then you're going to design prototypes of your solutions that you can actually use to test with your end users and get their feedback. And that's where it becomes very iterative, that as you get that feedback from users throughout the ideation, the prototyping, you really want to come back and implement those changes based on the feedback and put it back through that prototyping and test phase to make sure that you're solving the real challenges that your users are facing. So again, here's a bit of the framework. So you're figuring out who's your target audience, and from that, what are their needs and what are their challenges? And this may involve interviews, focus groups, any sort of way you can garner that information from your ideal target audience. Then you figured out the problem you're going to solve. You're going to figure out the kind of common needs, the common challenges, and solve those. So brainstorming different ideas. And this can be anything from, of course, just general brainstorming or moving into more of a structured brainstorming or looking at things that have been applied to other industries that maybe could work for your solution, or building ideas based on, what the future needs are going to be and how the world's evolving, and filtering those ideas based on what's viable and what's really going to work to solve the needs and the challenges you've defined. Of course, you want to create that prototype and you want to get feedbacks. You want to continue to develop ideas all throughout the design thinking process. You want to be co-creating with those end users as much as possible. So if you can have them involved in the brainstorming, have them involved in the prototyping, and of course in the testing. In prototyping, you want to be able to create solutions or prototypes that give the end user enough to test, but design thinking is great for the fail fast sort of method where you can create very low fidelity prototypes and be able to save time and resources by getting that user feedback early on, rather than taking a product to market and finding out it doesn't actually fill a need. And then, of course, that testing. So you want to get that feedback and you want to take that feedback immediately back into that brainstorming and prototyping phase, so that you're continuously building better and better solutions based on feedback from your end users.
And thank you, Olivia, for explaining. So did you all understand the design thinking framework? It was developed by Stanford, and I'm telling you, that is one of the best framework I've ever seen to go through building any solution in the market. Okay, excellent. Now you are saying is, okay, how do I go and participate in the build for 2030? Because you need to go to the design and a prototype phase. I would encourage you to do that because it will help you. Now that you took what Olivia said around the design thinking, I would like to take you through how to participate in the Build for 2030 Hackathon. Is that something you're ready? Yes. How do I get the framework? I am going to show you at the end of the session. You will get the whole toolkit. Every template is available, so you don't have to really go and figure out, download all these slides. We'll have everything ready. Okay, excellent. So going to the one, there are a few design challenges and prompts that are available. So if you go to the next slide, Riza, I will talk about how to understand the terminology for this hackathon. One is that there is a theme. The theme, there's a statement, and then there is a prompt. So those are the three things. And most of the time we confuse all of them. The theme is, what is the theme that we are going to build a solution for, right? And the second one is the statement. What is the statement for that particular theme? And what is the prompt is what you're doing. So for example, gender equity is the theme. The second one, challenge statement, is enable technology that creates equal participation, equitable economic access, and opportunity at all levels in work and life for women and girls, okay? The challenge prompt that is there is build a solution to improve representation in employment and or professional growth and leadership opportunities. For example, board participation, speaking, skilling, mentorship, funding programs for women. So that is your prompt. So you're building a solution to address the challenge statement, which connects to the theme. Do you all understand that one first? Give me a thumbs up. You got, I understood. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I got 3 or 4. Okay, excellent. Now coming to how do I go about really picking which of this, the statement and the prompt, and what do I need to work on? Very simple. We made it even simpler so that you don't even have to figure out going through the website and trying to figure out, because I'll give you all the steps here. What you need to do is think about your client. Think about a client who's ready to buy a solution or interested to buy a solution, right? You need to write. I always say is write the name of the customer, because then you have the person, and also write the title of the person because it allows you to do it. The second one is define the problem that you're trying to solve for them. That's important. Then write down the prompt, which is the prompt and the challenge that you're going to pick from the hackathon. So you write the prompt and then pick the UN goals. And I'll show you how the UN goals needs to be picked, because it's aligned to, like, gender equality is connected to goal number 5, right? So that is very easy. You can pick that goal. And then once you have that, you go and build your solution name and your impact metrics. That gives you a framework for your team to work with your team. Okay, so then going into an example how we do it, like from Women in Cloud, we actually did is the Cloud Leader Circle. We formalized that program because we wanted to bring warm introductions to market. You already looked at how we thought about the problem. So what we said was, okay, what's the client? Our entrepreneurs, all the female entrepreneurs say, yes, I'm here. They are our client. What was the problem we were trying to solve? Access to advisors. That was the number one, access, advisors, not mentors. The prompt that we picked was gender equality, enable technology that creates more equal participation, economic access, and opportunities at all levels in work and life for women and girls. And the goal was UN equity, gender equity. The solution was Cloud Leader Circle. We have a Get Introduced app. We just rolled out a 7-day challenge, more from a demand gen and readiness. And then we are doing is daily connection. How many of you actually got a warm introduction in the last 3 weeks from Women in Cloud? If you requested, you probably did, right? And the metrics we focus on is number of advisors, number of connection, number of opportunities. And the metric that we are really addressing at the UN level is enhance the use of enabling technology, in particular information in communities, in communication technology, to promote the empowerment of women. That was the intention, and that's how we are using to kind of create the solution, making sure we are just not creating a solution for solution, but it's really adding value for our clients, for our customers, for our ecosystem. Okay, now coming to this is what the solution really manifested from that thinking on a piece of paper. So basically we designed the Cloud Leader Circle. If you go on the website, you will find that. Then was the Get Introduced app. So this is a place where you can go, either you become an advisor or you can request a warm introduction with that double opt-in process so that it's not randomizing anyone. And then if you see it, it really drives people to take action. And then Sammy was able to, drive a whole 7-day Get Introduced challenge. We only thought we will get like 30 people. We had over 250 people sign up to become an advisor. I think by end of today, we'll have 100 advisors signed up and really start to provide value to our ecosystem. So please give a round of applause to all those advisors who said they want to help the entrepreneurs and the professional leaders. So thank you for doing that and participating, if you did participate in the challenge. And the last one is, how do you go about taking this journey when you are ready in building this UN goal? First is always find a starting point, and that's where Gina comes in. That's where Microsoft came and really helped all our companies, to really align to the SDG, because it matters. Let's bring is the responsible technology in the market. Understand and really share the impact, get a clear point of view, how your company and operations, your supply chain and business model creates a positive impact. It's an amazing experience. I'm just doing with my company, and I'm telling you, the entire company is involved in identifying a solution, and it's a journey, right? Everybody gets to contribute, a true team collaboration to solve a global goal. How cool a company looks like when every employee is inspired to really drive an impact on the planet, because you do give significance and belonging for them to add value. So to set goals and track improvements, we have 10 years to really achieve these SDG goals. So stay motivated, really start tracking through the whole every year and see what contributions you're making. By the time you're at the 3rd year, I'm telling you, the impact is significant and you would have touched and changed lives of many people. The other way to really drive within your company is put in a SDG action coalition. If you're the CEO of the company or you are like a decision maker, put in a coalition, invite your team to come together and really work. Invite your community partners, invite your customers, and put in an SDG action coalition and really drive that. And if you do it, invite us. We would love to participate in your action coalition and really track real-time progress and learn every step of the way, because to build a high impact solution, it does take time. It's a lot of iterative process, but once you find that one, then you have is a rocket ship growth, because you have got the right messaging, the right solution, the right impact, and that is where you want to be. And then you are truly profitable and trailblaze together, because join the movement of companies who are responsible, ethical, and doing everything to keep our planet healthy and safe. And I want all of you to really join the movement. Okay, now coming to, was that helpful? Yes, give me a thumbs up. Okay, now comes is how to become ready to participate for Build for 2030 Hackathon. Gina, I would love you to come back on the stage so that we can go through back and forth on this one, and then we can have a Q&A session. First, there are a few requirements. All of you need to know about the requirements to join the Build for 2030 Hackathon. How many of you are joining? Give me +1 on the chat. Give me +1 on the chat if you're ready. Okay, Gina, look at that. We have amazing number of people participating. We are going to meet the goals of doing this one. First, you all need to have a team registration with a valid Microsoft Partner Network ID and an active membership. Let me explain. You have to have a company. You need to have a Microsoft Partner Network ID, and you need to have a membership with them. It's a free membership. So how many of you have an MPN ID, say +1 in the chat? Go ahead if you have the MPN ID. Lucy has it, excellent. Yasmin, Nehal, Garnett. Okay, Azine. So we have really cool people. So you have already finished the first requirement. Second is enter the solution details in the solution workspace. It takes 5 to 7 minutes, and I'll also share the demo. Is there anything else they need to do, Gina, other than just kind of creating the solution details in the workspace?
No, for the solution workspace requirement, we want you to enter your solution. There is a specific format that we ask for. And the reason here is that after the hackathon, this is a space where you can continue to get tools and curated resources to support your solution building journey. And I know, Chaitra, you're covering a few slides on solution workspace.
Yes.
There was a more in-depth demo session yesterday on demand. So happy to share, the link. It's also all available within the community space once you join.
Perfect. Thank you, Gina. The third requirement, that's very easy. It'll take you 5 minutes, get it done today. If you can do it, that means you covered all the 3 steps. The third step is attest and attend one event, either Responsible AI, Women in Cloud, UNGA event. So you already are attending, so that is checked. I will also recommend you to attend the Responsible AI, pretty cool content there. Then complete all the requirement entry write-up and upload the hero image 3-minute video, optional. You are all Women in Cloud leaders. I would love you to consider doing a 3-minute video. That is what is going to drive virality and also demand gen for you. So make an effort to get that video done and then complete all your, all the application piece. And then if there are further other additional requirements in the piece, but these are like the 4 core requirements you have to do. Okay, going to next one. So what are the actions that are required for you to do? The first action is you need to join the Build for 2030 Hackathon. How many of you have joined? That's the first one. Ferenda, please put the link in the chat so that people can all join. That's the first requirement, okay? You need to join. The second requirement that you have is attend and attest to a live meeting. And you already have done that. The third one is if you need access to concierge service from Women in Cloud. I have 2 interns from University of Washington. I have Chirag and Sami helping you make sure that you get red carpet experience to get your solution submitted by November 15th. Okay. How many of you are interested for the red carpet experience? If you want, sign up for the concierge service. Ferenda, please put the link in there and we'll send you the link too. So don't worry about tracking that one. Number 4, identify the solution that supports the UN goals. You need to hack your solution over the next 4 weeks and get it done. It'll take you 2 to 3 weeks to get it done and complete the entry by November 15th. Are you all ready to join the hackathon with us? Yes? Okay, you see, like I love the emojis going. I love when you are using the emojis. So going to the Build for 2030 Hackathon, Gina, do you want to kind of step people through this piece so that everybody understands what are the components, and I'll do the demo of it.
Great, so the first step here, if you look at the chat, I believe we had shared this link earlier, is the aka.ms/Microsoft-Build for 2030-Hackathon. So
Yes.
that's where you would start. Thank you. And then when you are on that page, the first step is to click, well, firstly, you read all the content on the left, right? There's lots of FAQs, information on the prizes, the themes and the challenge statements, and also, our community partners. And then Just as another tip, if you click on the timeline rail on the right there, you'll also see more information on the events and how you can submit your entry. But the first step really is to click join the community. So when you go there, it's going to prompt you to set up an account. So you're going to hit at the bottom of that page, sign up for a WeChanges account. The hackathon is run on the WeChanges platform. They are a social impact, social entrepreneur themselves. And so we're very excited to be working with the hackathon platform that is focused on impact. Sign up for a WeChanges account, activate your email. It should come to your email. And then after that, you should be able to enter the community space and see what you see in the bottom right of the screen here. And then from there, there's a participant guide. You can scroll through that. There's a lot of detail in there, step by step, and then also attend all the events. I'll definitely encourage you to check out your member profile, include an image, include your role and your company name. There are lots of people in there, including a lot of people from Microsoft. And it's a really great way to begin driving visibility and differentiation for your business as well. And then from there, you can attend live chat sessions. We have them every Tuesday, Thursday with myself and the Build for 2030 team to answer any questions that you have and then find all the event links. And then finally, when you're ready to participate, you can go back to that landing page and hit on the blue button up top. And in there, you'll see all the tasks and all the questions that will be asked in the final entry.
Thank you, Gina. So Raisa, can you bring the hackathon site? So I want to step people through it visually, so it makes it easier for them to follow step by step. Once you join the hackathon site, you're inside a community environment. Okay, so once you're here, this is where you log in. This is your community space. This is where you get to engage. The first thing that you will go and do is get your profile set up. It is on the top right corner. That is where you go and set up your profile. Very important, because people want to know who you are and they can connect with you. That's the first piece. Second piece, you need to click on themes and group. That is where you get all the information about the themes and go to the group. If you are like all about gender equity, go to that group and sign up. Okay. Once you sign up, you can see the members. Go ahead, Raisa, sign up. It's very easy. You can start to see the members who are part of it. That means you have found the like-minded people. You get to partner with them. So these are all the people who are focused on gender equality. Number 3 is the channels. What are all the channels that are there? So that can give you, you can go to a specific channel to get engaged. Don't go there yet. Okay, you can go. No worries. It's good. Number 3 is go to the resources. This is the place where the entire resource, this is probably the best, I would say, the PDF on that particular equity, I would say equity and equality. What Gina and her team has done is a summarization of the theme, the challenge, the prompt, and all the resources. Click on that PDF file. It will give you what you really need to understand everything about it. So the research work is also reduced significantly by really looking at this data. The market context is there. There is resources. So you can really look at it because it allows you to tell a very compelling story of why you're building a solution. Okay, going back to that, and then they are events. So the events here is really focused on like the events related to that particular, I would say the theme. So that is there. But what you really need to click on is the events on the left side. If you click on that, Raisa, this is place where all the events are there. So you need to sign up to one of the events. Since you already have come here, great, but I would recommend you to go and look at building social impact solution. There is responsible AI, there are some accessibility, coding standards. It's really compelling content. And you can also go into live chats with other communities, because if you want to find the right organizations to partner, you'll have access. And the last one is the hackathon landing page. So click on the landing page, is on the right side. That will, there you go. Hold on. Something happened. Give a second, Gina. So Gina, as you're seeing, are you seeing a lot of, okay, there you go. So when you click on the hackathon site, this is the one which is your landing page. Come down, and then when you want to participate, what Gina said is when you're ready to participate, click on the participate button that allows you to go into the application. That is where you're going to put in your application. Is that clear for everybody? Give me a thumbs up saying, yes, I got this. Okay, excellent. Coming back to the slide. So let me talk about the solution workspace. That is a requirement, and you need to go through it. I'll walk you through the slides, and probably then we'll open up for Q&A. Give me a second. Okay, next slide is the solution workspace demo. This is the one where you need to create that particular entry into it, because that's how they're tracking, and that's what Gina needs to track of all the people who are coming for the hackathon. The first thing that you need to go is go into your partner center. That means you need to have a membership, right? Once you have an MPN, you get access to the partner center. That is your starting point. As soon as you enter, you will actually see partnering with Microsoft. That's your landing page. And if you click on it at the bottom where it says build solution, it says is solution workspace. You click on that, that will take you to the solution workspace. This is how the experience will look like. And what you need to click on is enter the solution details. Once you click on that, there is a quick video I would love you to watch, because it gives you a very summary of all the things you can do. This is I would say, the most valuable resource from Microsoft. I used to manage everything in Excel spreadsheet with all these resources. What they have done is summarized everything and making you very easy for you to publish your solution in the marketplace. Once you're done with watching the video, you come in and you start putting your solution basics. There is, I would say, the way you need to put your solution name is you have to put in build for 2030. So BF 2030 underscore is your solution name. So you need to kind of come up with that name, type of the solution, put in as application, and describe what the solution is going to be. That's the first piece. You need that, whatever the BF 2030 underscore, your solution name needs to be very clear. So make that happen. And also identify when you can estimate the solution can come. If you have an existing product, you always recommend is to extend a new innovation on top of your solution. So that is part of your hackathon. Don't just talk about your existing solution and say, I'm going to just rename a little bit. You just need to think about a hack that you're doing to solve a UN goal. Going to the next slide is you have to pick which of the solution areas that this solution actually is. It modern work? Is it security, data and AI, digital and application innovation? Those are kind of the common things. Pick some of them. It will allow, these are the priority areas for you. The next piece is going into your products. Which products you are going to be using? Is it Azure? Is it Dynamics or Microsoft 365? Just create that and then submit and create. Literally 3 to 5 minutes is what it takes. And Gina also says is like the rules require a net new solution or a substantial improvement to an existing one. Example is new accessibility feature. So that is what you are thinking about in your submission into the solution workspace. Is that clear for everyone? This is the second requirement you have to do. And then if you want to go and do explore everything in the solution, there is a lot of build a checklist. You can go and play with it. Everything is organized very easily for you. Going to the next piece is the submission of your application. Now that you got the solution solution name in the solution workspace, you come in and you submit your application. This is where, go to the next one. This is the place where you come in. We already talked about how to join the community. So click here, it's easy. Go to the second one is participate button. When you click on the participate button, the application would look like go to the next one here. It has few things. Join the Microsoft Build for 2030 community. You have to fill that. There is a team registration. There's a final entry. There's a cover image and also participation survey. All this thing needs to come to life. And here is my thing. Have one person on your team responsible for submitting your application. Otherwise, you will fail. Do not really give the right roles and responsibility for your one. Somebody needs to own the entry of this particular application into the system. Otherwise, you may be going last day scrambling, and you don't want to scramble at 2 hours before the submission. Assign somebody on the team to do that work. Teach them how to go. Give them this access to the video. They should be able to do it. Okay. And
Rachel, if I may just add here, so it looks like it's a lot, but the first one is really a checkbox. So once you've checked it, you'll unlock the team registration task. Once you've registered your team, you will unlock all the remainder tasks. But at any time, you can see all the questions that will be asked, so you can start preparing. And definitely, please do, follow what Chaitra said. We only want one entry per company. It's a submission on behalf of your NPN organization. And then the other thing also, you could export some of these questions if you want to share around with your team.
Fantastic, Gina. Thank you so much. Okay, so now all of you are clear on what you need to do. Yes. Okay, here is the toolkit that's available that you can download today. It's available on Women in Cloud. Or the toolkit, I would like Riza to share how that toolkit looks like. All the templates are there. You get every slide that we talked about, so you don't have to worry about it. You are taken care of, okay? So the toolkit would look like, it has all the table of contents. So from the checklist to the solution development to the narrative, all the tools that we shared, everything is organized. Even the video scripting template is there. So here's the checklist. Here is the design framework that you have. And then it is the Imagine Lens framework that we talked about. And then we talk about for the Build for 20, so it's easy for your team. And then is the solution narrative template to write your solution, because you really need that. And is your video scripting template, because it tells you what the video script, allowing somebody on your team, make one person responsible to complete all the templates so that you have everything done. And then there are other offerings, just cool stuff for you to know about Women in Cloud if you didn't know about it, okay? This is a complete offering for you. And the how to get to concierge service. How many of you want concierge service? Put +1 for us on the chat. +1 on chat if you need the concierge. Garnet needs it. Who else? Okay, Nehal, Yasmin. Okay, we have Lucy. We have Amanda. Excellent. So we have 2 students who are working with us to help you with that. And Faranda, if you can put in the link there for people to sign up, then we know that there is a request and we will follow with you. We'll give you the templates. We'll give you access to person who's going to help you get through it. Even if you need some design services to really make sure your hero image is looking good, is your application, so we can review it and we can review effectively. So you're ready to submit before November 15th. Okay, so was this helpful? So my ask of you, the last question is, what was your takeaway? What is the next action you're going to take? So what were your takeaways from this session? And one action that you will take to start your Build for 2030 application. So what was your takeaway? And then we'll go into a Q&A. I'll get all of you on the stage with me and you can ask questions directly to Gina. So what were your takeaways today and one action you will take to start the Build for 2030 application? The reason why is when you write it, magic happens. So here's what Jan says, a clear to-do list and step-by-step guidance to participate in the hackathon. So Gina, thank you for pushing us to do that. We at least got that checkbox done. With your help, we can do this. Absolutely, Lucy. Yes, we can. And then join the community and start planning a solution to contribute. Fantastic. So first, Gina, thank you so much and congratulations for launching this particular hackathon. I know it is not easy and you make it so effortless and so amazing to allow all of us to participate, to contribute to the global goals. And what was your takeaway today?
I want to say thank you first to the Women in Cloud Network and everything that you've done to the entire community. Women entrepreneurs, you're doing amazing work, and we all know it's a long road, and you're pushing rocks up mountains every single day. So how amazing to be in this space together. And I want to also thank Chaitra because she truly, I said she was a mentor and a coach. She truly is. She uses her influence all around the world, as you all know. And I had shared this before. She was very instrumental to help us shape and launch Build for 2030 very much from the beginning, and continues to be a very strong partner for us so that we're building this together as an ecosystem. Microsoft alone really can't do much, and we're going to be able to do this with all the companies who make the most of our technologies and brainstorm together for a new solution. So I hope we created a platform that can allow and enable and inspire that, and that you make the most of it as well. Just by participating, it's a massive differentiator. So make sure you're sharing on social, reach out to me, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, connect with each other on the chat, and let's work together on this journey. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Gina. Like the hashtag that comes is together we are stronger. And definitely this is the together we are stronger story. Okay, so Q&A. What questions do you have in mind? I know we shared so much information. What is the question you have? Raise your hand. Riza will bring you on the stage and you can ask me or Gina. And then I'll also have the two students to be ready so you can see them, who they are, who will be working on this particular journey for you. Okay, go ahead. I see somebody raise their hand. Let's bring them. Hi, Lucy, welcome.
Yes, thank you. So I have one question. So we know that we already have one solution that it's in soft launch, and we're adding functionality to better align to the UN goals. So that's one. I know that you mentioned one entry at a time. Can we do two entries? Because the other one is really just ideation stage, and which means that we need to do the process twice.
The submission is twice. So okay. We do allow for multiple entries per organization. I recommend having maybe having a different person submit, just to ensure that the tool may not get confused between, it shouldn't, but to avoid any technical issues, either submit super early so you have time to troubleshoot, but ideally a different submitter. But the MPN ID that you use should be the same one, and we will judge both entries on its own merit.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. That's amazing though.
Absolutely. Any other questions? You can do mic off, camera off, and Lucy, you're done. Okay, Gina, once we submit, what happens after that? How do you win the $50,000, prizes? How does that work?
Yeah, so we've created a lot of room to recognize great work. So it's 10,000 for each winner, and there are going to be 5 winners. Our ideal scenario is we love to see 1 winner per category, but in the rules, we do say that we could reallocate that as needed. And then on top of that, we are awarding 5 to 20, depending on the number of quality entries we get, what we call Build for 2030 Hackathon Heroes. And so that also does come with technical and GTM benefits and a promotion kit. So there is a lot of opportunity to win. So do put in your best work. What we're looking for, so it's all outlined in the rules, it's all on the landing page as well. We are looking for solutions that demonstrate that they considered the challenge statement, how they're approaching it, and what's the potential impact that it can have in the world. And this is a true hackathon in that I like to say, take it as far as you can in the time that you have. Some companies are already working on solutions, but maybe like, Lucy said earlier, they hadn't considered an easy way to, make it more accessible, right? Or connect it more to impact. And this is a great way that they can do that. Some projects are going to be net new and they want to put a prototype, maybe put some screenshots together about how it could work. That's all possible. And we're going to be considering really the ones that drive real world solutions and that also consider, bringing in together business and social impact, because we want to see, one of the challenges we face is that a lot of solutions are not scalable. Like, great, it's very niche and might serve one community, all good, but also we want to consider some scalability. And then the last thing here is that it is built with inclusion in mind. So do address in your entry how you've brought in diverse perspectives, how you're ensuring that your users, you're getting user feedback somehow in your process. So I think all of those will, are great tips for you to consider as you put on your write-up and as you design your processes in this hackathon.
Perfect. Thank you, Gina. Is there anyone who has any questions before we wrap up? If you don't ask, you won't get the answer. Okay, so give me a thumbs up that you understood crystal clear what you need to do. Oh, wow, Gina, we did it. This is amazing. Well, with that, the concierge desk service link is there, so please apply so that we can reach out. I would love to have Sammy and Chirag both come on the stage. So they will be your, I would say, they will provide the red carpet experience. So that's Chirag. He's also my son, and he's also Ashoka Changemaker. And this partnership is done with Ashoka Changemaker. So he understands the ins and out of how the competition is done, the hackathon is done. And having him roll out like hackathons for like 3,000 kids, he knows exactly what kind of things can go wrong and what you need. So he will be there to help. And Sammy is there. She leads all the marketing work. So she will make your copy, your story really come to life. So please be there. They are here from the University of Washington, where they have raised their hand to support all of you, because we want you to be the winners and we have the right help support to make that happen. So tell me who's ready to win that $10,000 in each of the category. Come on. Put it in the chat. I am ready. Go ahead, say that one. There you go. Nehal already said it, like she's competing really well. So with that, Chirag and Sammy, you can basically camera off and mic off, and I will have Patty come over. And Patty, you can take this session to the end goal.
Yay. Thank you so much. Oh, that was so much fun, Gina and Chai. It was amazing to see that. And I love always being reminded of the UN goals. The UN goals are so spectacular. And if you can align, this is what I remember from what you were talking about, these four things, you talked about, it's a business challenge, it's a social challenge, it's an innovation challenge, and it's a community challenge. That's what the whole thing is about. And with that use of design thinking, you can build something that is really incredible, because you're starting with the customer first. And that's just the best thing ever. Hey, so everybody, we're at the end of our time for this particular. I want to walk you through what we did up till now and tell you what's coming up later on. So first, really, we started off with Debbie Utek, how to secure a job in the $1 trillion cloud industry. I don't know about you, but there were so many stats in there. I had to capture them, especially the 27% roles net new. I mean, really, that means if you're not upskilling yourself all the time, whoa, it's going to be a serious problem. And I was saying that to myself inside my head, of course. And then after that, we got to hear about all the different ways you could upskill. And then we got to have Amy Coughlin come in from the Cloud Guru Lab and just take us through Lab 1 and Lab 2. And then finally, the piece de resistance, right? The really awesome thing is really the hackathon, the hashtag Build for 2030. That is going to be an amazing experience for all of you. And the key call outs for that for me around creating a diverse team. This is really where you're going to get multiple perspectives and partner with other people. There were a couple of recommendations to do that. That helps to build the case, right? And then there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can get involved. So just knowing that architecting this with the UN goals, your messaging, and making sure that there's a for-profit end result, those things are important. All of the materials that you need, they took you through, and also that you can access them in all of the material, in the hashtag and the link, there we go. And so those things will be incredibly valuable. And I can't wait. I saw the +1s in there. I wanted to put a +1, but I didn't really know how that was going to work with live illustration. But you never know. I could come up with some solution where everybody becomes like a draw your future expert. So I'm thinking about this idea right now. All right. So today, really what's going to happen is we're going to close out this link, and you're going to come back at 5 p.m. Pacific time, because then we're going to have a cloud jobs diverse recruiting at 5 p.m. This is how you really build your cloud career. So this is you get to meet with, if you're a job seeker, you get to meet with recruiters and future employers. And there's also a second session of the hands-on cloud lab. So you don't have to go to that if you were in the one. It's the same one that we did earlier, but for those who weren't able to attend in the morning session, this is for you. So please go there and join us in these experiences. I think that networking is probably one of the most valuable things about Women in Cloud, is you get to meet and really shake hands and meet. I tell you about the time I went up the elevator, and then I met really the CFO of a really high-powered organization I'd always wanted to work for, and then that turned into work. And that's how it happens. So come back at 5 p.m. Know that Nancy Watt will be your MC. She's hilarious, and you're going to love her. And so I will see you back here tomorrow, where we're going to have another round of awesomeness with thought leadership, AI ethics, leadership accelerator, and get introduced, and the Innovate Her Pitch Challenge. So I can't wait to see you tomorrow, but everybody come back here at 5 for that networking session. It's going to be amazing. Thank you so much for all your attention today, and know that all the links and all the videos will be available to you. So you'll be able to get into that information later. So be sure to click that new link to get back into Remo. Have a great break for a couple of hours, and we'll see you soon at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much.